Well, hello there, friends. I've got to ask you something that might just blow your mind. Can you imagine waking up to 60-degree temperatures in Ohio this Friday morning? I mean, seriously, when's the last time any of us experienced that kind of warmth in the middle of January? And here's the real kicker. This is just the beginning of an absolutely incredible week ahead. Now, sit back and relax because in just 2 minutes, I'm going to walk you through day by day exactly how this amazing transformation will unfold. And right around the 8-minute mark, I'll share those jaw-dropping temperature records. But here's something really special I want to share with you at the 15-minute mark. Some beautiful scripture about seasons and God's perfect timing that really speaks to what we're witnessing right now. While most folks are still thinking winter's going to stick around, Mother Nature has some absolutely delightful surprises in store that are going to have us all talking about this week for a very long time. So grab your favorite cup of coffee, settle in, and let's have ourselves a wonderful chat about what promises to be one of the most remarkable weather weeks we've experienced together. In all my years of watching weather patterns, today feels like the start of something really special. A beautiful chain of events that shows just how amazing our atmosphere can be. Let me tell you about the fascinating changes that are already beginning right now across our beautiful country, with some interesting weather developing in both the southeast and out west. I've been poring over the latest computer models this morning, and I have to tell you, what they're showing us is both delightful and quite remarkable for this time of year. Starting right now, we're entering what's shaping up to be a much more active and interesting weather period that'll keep us engaged throughout the entire week. Think of this weekend as nature's way of giving us a gentle preview before she shows off her most surprising winter personality yet. This weekend will feature what we meteorologists like to call a sneaky snow and ice threat across parts of the Midwest and Great Lakes. And trust me, that word sneaky really fits perfectly here. For all my friends in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, we're looking at some light to moderate snow and freezing rain that might make your weekend travels a bit more interesting than usual. But here's where our weather story becomes absolutely captivating. Later this week, it's like someone's going to completely rewrite the script on us. A much more impressive storm system is getting ready to take center stage, bringing back those big, memorable weather events that really get our attention. This developing system could very well bring widespread snow, ice, strong winds, and even some severe weather to most of our great nation, possibly making it the most significant storm we've seen so far this year. Now, while all this dramatic weather is setting up, here's the part that's going to absolutely amaze you. A tremendous heat wave is about to sweep northward across much of America. This is going to create temperature differences across our country that are simply extraordinary, and this battle between warm and cold air will provide all the energy needed for the amazing weather ahead. The collision between these opposing air masses, my dear friends, perfectly demonstrates why this stretch of weather is going to be so much more active and exciting than anything we've seen recently. Let me explain what's driving all this fascinating change by talking about our jet stream, which is basically the superhighway in the sky that controls where our weather systems travel. Right now, our jet stream is flowing from the northwest across the Great Lakes, Midwest, and Northeast, bringing plenty of that familiar cold air into the regions where many of you live. But as we move into early next week, this jet stream is going to make a dramatic shift that will completely change the weather map across our entire continent. The high-pressure ridge building across the southern plains is going to strengthen considerably, allowing unusually warm air to flow across the Great Plains and East Coast like never before. Some areas are going to experience temperatures that could absolutely shatter records, creating the kind of January warmth that makes you think spring has arrived 3 months early. At the same time, a major storm system will be organizing along the West Coast, creating what meteorologists call the perfect setup for contrasting conditions. My friends in Denver, Colorado Springs, Salt Lake City, and Boise will be among the first to experience the leading edge of this remarkable weather transformation. Those of you in Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, and Los Angeles will witness the storm system development that will eventually affect weather patterns from one coast to the other. Now, let me share with you the temperature story that honestly has me just shaking my head in amazement at what Mother Nature has planned for us this week. Today's temperature shows some pleasant warmth across the Great Plains, with my friends in Nebraska and Kansas enjoying readings in the 50s and 60s, while the southeast remains a bit cooler than usual. By Sunday and Monday, the warming trend really starts to take off, with folks in Texas and Oklahoma beginning to feel that wonderful surge of unusually mild air. Now, are you ready for this? The Dallas-Fort Worth area will be approaching 80 degrees by Monday. And yes, you heard that right, 80 degrees in January. Tuesday and Wednesday bring this incredible warming trend right into the heart of the Midwest, with areas near Chicago, can you believe this, approaching 55 to 60 degrees. Thursday shapes up to be one of the warmest days of this entire wonderful week, with Missouri temperatures climbing into the 60s and Kansas City reaching near 67 degrees. But Friday, oh my friends, Friday is when this warm spell reaches its absolute peak, with widespread record-breaking temperatures possible across multiple states. Cities like Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, and Nashville all have excellent chances of completely shattering their daily temperature records for January 10th. Here's what really takes my breath away about Friday morning. Many of you could wake up to 60-degree temperatures across Kentucky and Ohio, which is just absolutely incredible for mid-January. Columbus, Ohio might experience a morning low temperature of 60 degrees on Friday, which is the kind of warmth we typically don't see until well into spring. These temperatures will rank among the warmest ever recorded during the first full week of January across the entire Ohio Valley region. Record-breaking heat becomes very likely near Houston, Texas, as the southern plains experience temperatures that belong more in late spring than the middle of winter. The morning temperatures across Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Tennessee will challenge or break records that have stood strong for decades, possibly since weather recording began. We're talking about wake-up temperatures Friday morning that many locations have simply never experienced for this date in all of recorded history. This represents one of the most significant January warm spells on record for the Ohio Valley and all surrounding regions. Now, let me take you through the wonderful sequence of weather events that will accompany this incredible temperature story. Today brings the opening act in this weather performance, with severe weather possibilities developing across the southeast, including chances for isolated tornadoes. My friends in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida should keep an eye on this afternoon's conditions for damaging winds, hail, and possible brief tornado development. The area around Tallahassee, Gainesville, Jacksonville, and Pensacola represents the corridor where tornado development seems most likely between 3 and 6 p.m. today. Tonight and into tomorrow morning, those of you in the northeast will see some lingering snow showers, while the West Coast experiences significant storm activity. California is dealing with some substantial rainfall concerns, with snow in the higher elevations and even a slight severe weather threat near the San Francisco area. Sunday introduces one of the most interesting parts of this entire weather sequence, with a storm system forming very rapidly over Minnesota. This system will develop quite quickly on Sunday, creating the potential for heavy snow squalls across central and northern Minnesota that could really surprise people. Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan will also experience these rapidly developing snow squalls that can create sudden visibility problems on the roadways. The southern edge of this weather pattern brings a bit of a concern: freezing rain and freezing drizzle that could create some ice accumulation. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and potentially areas as far south as Chicago could see ice accumulation that makes driving quite challenging. This ice threat develops during the daytime hours on Sunday, mainly from noon until about 8 p.m. So please use extra caution if you need to be out and about. The heavy snow portion of this system continues basically all day long, from noon until approximately 10 p.m. across the upper Midwest. Overnight Sunday into Monday, areas of light snow will move through Michigan's Upper Peninsula before eventually reaching portions of the Northeast. While we're not talking about huge snow accumulations, the quick-hitting nature creates heavy snow rates that could cause sudden visibility issues. Most areas can expect widespread 1 to 3 inches of snow across the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, northern Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin. This may not compare to the big snowstorms we've seen in years past, but the rapid development makes it particularly challenging for anyone planning to travel. Sleet accumulation up to about 1/10 of an inch is possible across parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, adding another layer to Sunday's weather story. The freezing rain threat, while not expected to be major, will make any untreated road surfaces extremely slippery and hazardous. Minneapolis represents the area most likely to experience freezing rain challenges on Sunday, so folks there should pay close attention to road conditions. Any untreated roadways will become quite hazardous, making Sunday travel across the upper Midwest something to plan very carefully. Today's severe weather includes 2 separate areas of interest, one in the southeast and another along California's coast north of San Francisco. The main concern involves isolated tornado possibilities affecting both California and our southeastern states. Believe it or not, we've already seen our first tornado of 2026, occurring near 3 Points, Arizona, just 12 hours into the new year. Today's weather could potentially add to that tornado count in both California and the southeast, showing us how active this year has started out. Having tornado action plans ready across these regions is always smart, with multiple ways to receive weather alerts throughout the day. The southeast timing shows what meteorologists call a messy setup overall, but organized thunderstorms could develop around 2, 3, or 4 p.m. across Alabama, Georgia, or Florida. While today's atmospheric setup makes tornado development somewhat challenging, the Tallahassee area represents the main corridor where brief tornadoes could possibly occur. Between 3 and 6 p.m., isolated brief tornadoes could develop, eventually transitioning into a line of storms by 7 to 8 p.m. This storm line will move through central Florida before weakening overnight, leading to much more pleasant conditions across the southeast on Sunday. The West Coast severe weather threat near San Francisco adds an interesting element to today's multi-regional weather story. Sacramento, San Jose, Oakland, and surrounding communities should monitor conditions for possible severe thunderstorm development. This shows us how the same atmospheric energy creating challenges in the southeast can generate similar concerns on the opposite side of our country. Now let me share with you the deeper significance of this remarkable weather pattern and why it represents something truly extraordinary. This pattern showcases nature's incredible ability to create dramatic contrast that remind us of the awesome power governing our atmosphere each and every day. The collision between warm and cold air masses demonstrates the fundamental forces that drive all weather patterns across our beautiful planet. When these opposing air masses meet, they release tremendous energy that manifests as storms, temperature extremes, and rapid weather changes. This week's weather serves as a perfect example of how atmospheric energy constantly seeks balance through these dynamic processes. The heat wave pushing northward carries tropical warmth far beyond its normal boundaries, while winter cold retreats and reorganizes for its eventual return. These temperature contrasts will fuel the development of powerful storm systems that demonstrate nature's remarkable efficiency in redistributing energy across continents. The rapid storm development we're witnessing shows how quickly atmospheric conditions can change when all the right ingredients come together just perfectly. Each storm system in this sequence plays a specific role in the larger atmospheric pattern, like individual musicians in a grand symphony orchestra. The jet stream reorganization driving these changes represents one of the fundamental mechanisms by which our entire climate system operates. Upper-level wind patterns guide surface weather systems like a conductor directing musicians, creating beautiful harmony from what might appear chaotic. This week's pattern demonstrates how seemingly unrelated weather events across different regions actually connect through fascinating atmospheric physics. The warmth building across the eastern United States directly influences storm development along the West Coast through what scientists call teleconnections. These atmospheric linkages show us how weather in one location can impact conditions thousands of miles away in ways that continue to amaze meteorologists. Modern meteorology allows us to track these connections and understand how global weather patterns influence the conditions right in our own backyards. The precision with which we can now forecast these complex interactions represents one of the most remarkable scientific achievements of our lifetime. Satellite technology and computer modeling give us unprecedented insight into atmospheric behavior and storm development that previous generations could never imagine. This enhanced understanding helps communities prepare for weather events while also helping us appreciate the incredible beauty of atmospheric science. You know, when I think about the economic implications of this week's weather, it really touches virtually every aspect of our daily lives. Record warm temperatures in January dramatically affect heating bills, agricultural planning, and energy consumption patterns across millions of households. Transportation systems must constantly adapt to rapid weather changes, from ice threats in the Midwest to severe weather concerns in the Southeast. Airlines carefully monitor storm development, often adjusting flight schedules well in advance to accommodate changing weather conditions. Shipping and logistics industries track weather patterns continuously to optimize routes and ensure safe transportation of goods across the country. Agricultural interests watch temperature swings very carefully, as unexpected warmth can significantly affect crop dormancy and spring planting plans. Energy companies prepare for fluctuating demand as heating needs decrease dramatically during warm periods and spike during cold snaps. Tourism and recreation industries adapt constantly to changing conditions, with some areas experiencing spring-like weather while others face winter challenges. Retail businesses adjust their inventory and marketing strategies based on weather patterns that significantly influence what consumers want to purchase. Emergency management agencies coordinate preparations for multiple weather threats occurring simultaneously across different regions of our nation. Insurance companies monitor weather patterns very closely due to potential claims from storm damage, ice accumulation, and temperature-related issues. Utility companies prepare their infrastructure for varying demands and potential outages from ice storms, high winds, and severe weather. Construction and outdoor work industries adjust their schedules constantly to take advantage of favorable conditions while avoiding dangerous weather. Public health officials monitor temperature extremes and storm threats that could particularly affect our elderly neighbors and other vulnerable populations. Educational institutions prepare for potential weather-related closures or schedule modifications that affect millions of students and families. The social and psychological impacts of dramatic weather changes affect our communities in ways that really touch the heart and bring people together. Sudden warmth in January often lifts spirits and boosts outdoor activity levels, creating wonderful opportunities for recreation and community gathering. Families frequently adjust their weekend plans to take full advantage of record-breaking temperatures for outdoor activities and quality family time. Children and adults alike find genuine wonder in the ability to experience spring-like conditions right in the heart of winter. Gardeners and nature enthusiasts carefully observe how plants and wildlife respond to these unusual but delightful temperature fluctuations. Weather enthusiasts and storm watchers find tremendous excitement in tracking multiple weather events occurring simultaneously across our great country. Photography enthusiasts capture the remarkable beauty of contrasting weather conditions occurring within very short time periods. Social media platforms buzz with weather observations, temperature readings, and storm reports shared by people from coast to coast. Weather applications and services experience dramatically increased usage as people track these rapidly changing and fascinating conditions. Local television stations often extend their weather coverage to address the numerous viewer questions and concerns about these unusual patterns. Community preparedness typically improves as people become more aware of weather's significant impact on daily life and safety. Here's what I promised to share with you right around the 8-minute mark. These absolutely incredible temperature records that showcase just how remarkable this pattern truly is. Friday morning could bring wake-up temperatures of 60 degrees across Kentucky and Ohio, representing completely unprecedented warmth for January 10th. These morning minimum temperatures would challenge or break records that have stood strong for decades across the entire Ohio Valley region. Some locations could experience their warmest January 10th morning temperatures since detailed weather records began being kept. The magnitude of this warm anomaly demonstrates the incredible power of atmospheric pattern changes to create truly extraordinary conditions. Cities from Indianapolis to Cleveland could witness genuine history as they approach or exceed all-time January temperature records. Nashville, Cincinnati, and Louisville join the impressive list of metropolitan areas with excellent potential for record-breaking temperatures. The geographic extent of this warmth stretches across multiple states, affecting millions of Americans simultaneously in ways that will be long remembered. Weather monitoring stations across the region will carefully document these potentially historic temperature readings for future climate studies. Local record books may require updating as this remarkable warm spell reaches its peak intensity across the heartland. The contrast between these warm temperatures and typical January conditions highlights the absolutely extraordinary nature of this weather pattern. Normal January temperatures in these regions typically range from the 20s to the 40s, making 60-degree readings absolutely remarkable by any standard. This temperature departure from normal represents one of the most significant warm anomalies meteorologists have observed in recent decades. Meteorological organizations will undoubtedly analyze this event extensively to better understand extreme weather pattern behavior and atmospheric dynamics. Research institutions will study the atmospheric conditions that enabled such dramatic temperature departures from what we consider normal for January. Climate scientists will carefully examine how this event fits into longer-term weather and climate patterns affecting our region. The valuable data collected during this warm spell will contribute to improved understanding of atmospheric dynamics and weather prediction. Advanced computer models will be carefully evaluated based on their ability to accurately predict these extreme temperature conditions. International meteorological organizations will share this data to enhance global weather prediction capabilities for everyone's benefit. This remarkable event demonstrates the critical importance of continuous weather monitoring and comprehensive data collection systems. Future forecasting improvements may well result from the valuable lessons learned during this extraordinary weather pattern. Now, my wonderful friends, let me address the important preparation aspects that this complex weather pattern requires from all of us. Travel planning becomes absolutely crucial as multiple weather challenges develop across different regions at the same time. Those planning travel to or through the upper Midwest should monitor ice and snow conditions very carefully, especially on Sunday. Southeast travelers should stay well informed about severe weather developments and potential tornado threats in their areas. West Coast travelers must prepare adequately for heavy rainfall and potential flooding conditions that could affect their travel plans. Multiple weather alert sources help ensure you receive adequate warning of changing conditions across all regions you might visit. Vehicle emergency kits should be checked and updated carefully, especially for those traveling through areas expecting ice or snow. Home preparation includes monitoring heating systems closely, as these dramatic temperature swings significantly affect energy demands. Outdoor equipment and decorations should be secured well ahead of potential strong winds associated with developing storm systems. Drainage systems around your home should be checked for proper function ahead of any heavy rainfall events that might develop. Emergency supplies should be readily accessible in case power outages occur from ice accumulation or severe weather conditions. Communication plans help families stay connected during weather events that may affect different areas at different times throughout the week. Community resources should be identified for neighbors who may need assistance during challenging weather conditions. Weather alert applications and systems should be properly configured to provide timely warnings for your specific location and travel routes. Flexible scheduling allows for necessary weather-related adjustments to daily routines, appointments, and travel plans. The interconnected nature of these weather events requires awareness of conditions well beyond your immediate local area. Business continuity plans should carefully account for potential weather-related disruptions occurring across multiple regions simultaneously. Educational institutions may need to adjust their schedules based on local weather conditions and important safety considerations. Healthcare facilities prepare diligently for potential increases in weather-related injuries and transportation challenges affecting patient care. Emergency services coordinate carefully across jurisdictions to ensure adequate coverage during multiple weather events. Public transportation systems adjust schedules and routes proactively based on weather conditions and passenger safety requirements. Construction and outdoor work industries monitor weather forecasts very closely to ensure worker safety during changing conditions. Agricultural operations adapt continuously to temperature fluctuations and precipitation patterns that significantly affect seasonal planning. Retail businesses prepare systematically for weather-related changes in customer traffic and purchasing patterns. Tourism destinations adjust their activities and accommodations carefully based on weather conditions and visitor safety concerns. Media organizations expand their weather coverage significantly to address heightened public interest in these unusual atmospheric conditions. Scientific institutions continue their important monitoring and research efforts to better understand complex weather pattern interactions. International collaboration enhances our collective ability to predict and prepare effectively for significant weather events. Technology advancements continuously improve our capacity to track, model, and communicate weather information effectively to the public. Public education about weather patterns helps our communities better understand and respond appropriately to atmospheric changes. Weather awareness promotes safety, preparedness, and genuine appreciation for the natural forces that shape our daily lives. The beauty of meteorological science lies in understanding how seemingly chaotic weather patterns actually follow predictable physical laws. Atmospheric science reveals the elegant complexity underlying weather systems and their fascinating interactions across vast distances. This week's weather demonstrates perfectly how individual storm systems contribute meaningfully to much larger atmospheric patterns. Energy transfer between different scales of atmospheric motion drives the weather phenomena we observe and experience every day. Mathematical equations describe atmospheric behavior with remarkable accuracy, enabling detailed and reliable weather predictions. Computer modeling combines physics, mathematics, and observational data skillfully to simulate future atmospheric conditions. Continuous model improvements enhance our ability to forecast complex weather scenarios, like this week's fascinating pattern. Global observing networks provide the essential data foundation necessary for accurate weather analysis and prediction worldwide. Satellite technology offers completely unprecedented views of atmospheric motion and development on multiple scales. Radar systems detect precipitation and storm structure with incredible detail and excellent temporal resolution. Surface weather stations continuously monitor local conditions that help validate and improve computer model forecasts. Upper air observations reveal the three-dimensional structure of atmospheric patterns driving the surface weather we experience. Ocean temperature and current measurements help scientists understand the important marine influences on atmospheric behavior. Lightning detection networks track electrical activity associated with thunderstorms and severe weather development. Wind profiling systems monitor atmospheric motion continuously through different levels of our atmosphere. Automated weather stations provide continuous monitoring in remote locations where human observation would be impractical. Mobile weather platforms allow dedicated scientists to study